The most dangerous female, Hell's Angels, women who ruled the road with iron and fire. Imagine a world where the roar of engines echoes like thunder, where loyalty is measured not in words but in scars, and where freedom comes at the cost of danger. This is the world of the Hell's Angels, the most notorious motorcycle club in history. But behind the leather vests and roaring Harleys, there exists a rarely told story. A story of women who broke every rule, challenged every limit, and carved their names into outlaw legend. Today we ride through the wild roads of rebellion and meet the most dangerous female Hell's Angels. Fearless women whose lives blurred the line between heroism and havoc. Welcome to Elite Crime, where power, danger, and deception collide. From the world's most ruthless criminals to the untold stories of the underworld, we uncover the secrets others fear to tell. Before watching the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Let's get started. Number 1. Sandy the Serpent, Sullivan. Among all the names whispered with both fear and fascination, none strike quite like Sandy the Serpent Sullivan. Even the toughest outlaws flinch at the mention of her name. Born and raised in the gritty streets of Los Angeles, Sandy grew up with rebellion in her blood. Her father, a former Hell's Angel himself, used to tell her bedtime stories, not of fairy tales or castles, but of biker wars, loyalty, and freedom on the open road. As a little girl, she would listen wide-eyed, dreaming not of princess gowns, but of black leather jackets and the growl of Harley engines. By 18, she didn't just dream, she rode. Joining the Hell's Angels as one of their youngest recruits, Sandy had everything to prove. In a world dominated by men, she refused to be seen as a token. Her fierce intelligence and ruthless precision earned her the nickname, the Serpent, striking fast, unpredictable, and deadly. She mastered the art of manipulation, reading people, twisting situations, and turning rival gangs against themselves. One of her most infamous moments came during a tense standoff with the Mongols. Without firing a single bullet, Sandy turned the rival gang's paranoia inward, letting them destroy each other from within. By the time the dust settled, the Hell's Angels had claimed the disputed territory, without losing a single member. But her rise wasn't without controversy. Rumors tied her to assaults, intimidation, and even murder.
These are not necessarily inaccurate descriptions for many other members who have been convicted of serious, sometimes violent crimes.
Though nothing was ever proven. Like a serpent, she slithered out of every trap, leaving chaos in her wake. Sandy, the Serpent. Sullivan remains a legend, a symbol of cunning, control, and cold-blooded power. Number 2. Rosie, Road Rage, Ramirez. From the sun-baked deserts of Arizona, rode another unstoppable force, Rosie, Road Rage, Ramirez. Her name alone sent a chill through the highways. Born wild, Rosie never fit into ordinary life. School bored her. Authority infuriated her. Her true classroom was the open road. When she joined the Hell's Angels, she quickly made her mark as both fearless and dangerously unpredictable. She had a temper that could ignite faster than her engine. Yet, beneath the fury was unmatched loyalty. Rosie's fists were as famous as her wheels. She once took down 3 rival bikers in a single brawl. Her legend grew after a brutal confrontation in the Arizona Badlands, when her crew was ambushed by a rival gang. Outnumbered and outgunned, Rosie charged headfirst into the fight, using her sheer aggression to turn the tide. That night, the Hell's Angels walked away victorious, and Rosie became a living symbol of rage and resilience. But her fiery spirit came with a price. Her long record of police chases, assaults, and public brawls made her one of the most wanted women in biker history. Still, Rosie never backed down. Her life was a roaring blaze that refused to be extinguished, and she wore her reputation like a crown of flames. Number 3. Angie, Anarchy Anderson. From the crumbling streets of Detroit emerged Angie, Anarchy Anderson, a woman who didn't just love chaos, she embodied it. Detroit was a city built on steel and survival, and Angie grew up learning both. Her life was a rebellion from the start. The system failed her, so she chose to fail the system. The Hell's Angels gave her what she'd always wanted: belonging, respect, and the freedom to live by her own rules. But Angie didn't just follow. She led through unpredictability. Her tactics were unorthodox, often insane, but they worked. She could turn any plan upside down and somehow make it succeed. One infamous story tells of her single-handedly sabotaging a rival gang's operation by spreading false police reports that led to mass arrests. When the rivals tried to retaliate, Angie had already moved on. 2 states away, laughing at the chaos she'd left behind. Cops called her erratic. The angels called her a genius. Her loyalty to the club was unbreakable, but so was her love for destruction. Angie Anarchy Anderson thrived in mayhem, a storm no one could predict and no one could stop. Number 4, Molly Mad Dog McDougall. If fear had a face, it would look like Molly Mad Dog McDougall. Born in rural Georgia with nothing but grit and a mean right hook, Molly learned early that survival wasn't given, it was taken. The Hells Angels saw in her what few others could: pure, unrelenting ferocity. She earned her nickname after single-handedly taking down an entire rival gang that had been harassing the Angels' local chapter. Witnesses said she fought like an animal, relentless, unstoppable. From that day on, she was Mad Dog. Molly became known for her insane courage and loyalty. She was the first to step into danger and the last to leave a fight. Her law enforcement record was a laundry list of chaos: assaults, evasion, high-speed chases. But every time, she managed to escape. Her most legendary stunt? A full-throttle police pursuit that ended with her leaping her bike over a partially collapsed bridge and making it. The footage went viral in underground circles, cementing her as a myth among outlaw riders. Molly Mad Dog McDougall was a symbol of fearless rebellion, proof that sometimes madness is power. Number 5, Lena Lethal Lawson. Calm, quiet, and utterly terrifying. Lena Lethal. Lawson was the assassin of the open road. Raised in the freezing wilds of Alaska, she was a woman of few words but razor-sharp intelligence. While others fought with fists, Lena fought with precision. From childhood, she had a gift for mechanics. She could take apart and rebuild an engine faster than most men could ride one. The Hells Angels quickly realized her worth, not just as a rider, but as a strategist. When a rival gang tried to ambush her chapter, Lena didn't panic. She calculated. Within minutes, she turned their trap against them, surrounding the attackers and forcing a humiliating retreat. Unlike others, Lena wasn't violent for pleasure. She was efficient, striking only when necessary, but always decisively. That's how she earned the name Lethal. Law enforcement tried to catch her for years, tracking her every move, but she always stayed one step ahead, quiet, unseen, unstoppable. To this day, the Angels remember Lena as their silent protector, a mechanic, a fighter, and a legend who let her actions speak louder than any roar of an engine. Number 6, Fiona Firebrand Fitzpatrick. If passion had a face, it would be Fiona Firebrand Fitzpatrick. Born in the industrial chaos of Chicago, Fiona was raised around noise, factory clatter, city sirens, and the constant hum of ambition. She was a natural leader, loud and defiant. Her fire drew people in. Before joining the Hells Angels, she led local protest groups, railing against authority and social constraints. When she finally joined the club, she didn't just ride, she rallied. Fiona became the voice of rebellion. Her fiery speeches at biker gatherings made her both loved and feared. She led protests against government crackdowns on motorcycle clubs, often facing tear gas and arrests with a smile. To her, the Angels weren't just a gang. They were a symbol of freedom. Her boldness earned her constant police attention, but she never let up. Every battle, every fight, every protest only made her spirit burn brighter. Fiona Firebrand Fitzpatrick didn't just ride the road, she ignited it. Number 7, Daisy Deathwish Donovan. Few names fit better than Daisy Deathwish Donovan. A daredevil since childhood, Daisy wasn't afraid of danger. She invited it. Skydiving, street racing, brawling. Anything that could go wrong, she did it on purpose. Her first test came when a rival gang stole a prized Hells Angels motorcycle. Without orders, Daisy sneaked into enemy territory alone, retrieved the stolen bike, and rode back through hostile streets with bullets flying behind her. That single act earned her her patch and her nickname. From then on, Daisy became known for her insane stunts and impossible escapes. She was the kind of rider who'd face 10 police cars head-on just for the thrill of it. Her most famous chase was broadcast on local news, a 30-minute pursuit where she outmaneuvered every cop in sight, vanishing into the night with a grin. Daisy wasn't just reckless, she was fearless. To the angels, she was living proof that danger can be beautiful. Number 8. Nenah Nightmare. Nicholson. Every legend has its shadow, and in the Hells Angels, that shadow was Nenah Nightmare Nicholson. From the dark streets of New Orleans, Nenah learned early how to survive among predators. Her charm hid a ruthless mind, strategic, patient, and terrifyingly effective. She wasn't the loudest or the strongest, but she was the smartest. Nenah's power came from her mind. She mapped rival gangs' movements, anticipated police raids, and turned traps into victories. Once, when the Angels were surrounded during a territorial conflict, Nenah orchestrated a fake retreat that led the rivals straight into law enforcement ambush, wiping them out in one move. Her tactics made her invaluable, and her enemies terrified. They called her Nightmare because once she had you in her sights, you never slept easy again. Even when the FBI launched investigations, Nenah stayed invisible, her tracks erased, her strategies untouchable. Number 9. Brenda Breakneck Brooks Speed was her religion. Brenda Breakneck Brooks was born on the California coast, where the sun met the asphalt, and she learned to ride before she could drive. For her, freedom meant velocity. She joined the Hells Angels not for rebellion, but for the ride, yet her skill soon made her a legend. Brenda's races became stories told in hushed tones. In one fateful race against a rival gang, she clocked speeds so insane that the others gave up midway. She crossed the finish line, raised her hand, and simply smirked. From then on, she wasn't just Brenda. She was breakneck. Her control over her bike was superhuman. She could weave through traffic like smoke. Law enforcement tried chasing her many times, but they never stood a chance. Brenda lived for speed, and for her, every ride was a brush with death, and she wouldn't have it any other way. Number 10. Tara Tornado Thompson. The name Tara Tornado. Thompson wasn't just earned, it was lived. Wherever she went, chaos followed. Tara had the energy of a storm and the temper of a lightning bolt. Born in the stormy heartlands of Oklahoma, she grew up racing thunder, and eventually became it. When she joined the Hells Angels, Tara's wild energy found purpose. Her leadership on the battlefield, if you can call it that, was legendary. During one all-out brawl with a rival gang, she charged headfirst into the fray, rallying her crew like a human storm surge. The Hells Angels crushed their opponents that night, and Tara became a living legend. Her unpredictability made her both feared and admired. Allies saw her as a force of nature. Enemies called her destruction incarnate. But Tara didn't care what anyone thought. She lived fast, fought hard, and left a trail of dust and thunder behind her. Tara Tornado Thompson was the final storm, the kind you can't outrun. Conclusion: the queens of chaos. These women, the Serpent, Road Rage, Anarchy, Mad Dog, Lethal, Firebrand, Death Wish, Nightmare, Breakneck, and Tornado, weren't just outlaws. They were revolutionaries of the road. Each of them challenged a world that told them to stay quiet, stay small, stay safe, and they did the opposite. They proved that fearlessness isn't about muscle or madness. It's about living on your own terms, even when the world calls you dangerous. The legacy of these female Hells Angels lives on, not just in the rumble of Harley engines, but in every woman who refuses to be tamed. So Next time you hear the echo of a motorcycle fading into the distance, remember, it might just be one of them, still riding, still free, and still feared. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and comment to see more upcoming videos.